Thanks for joining us again. Van Damme, Jared. I think, his most well-known picture.
I can't believe it's taken us this long to get to it.
I know. Fucking hell, we're closing in on 400 eps.
Yeah,
we have not
couldn't
stumbled across fucking Bloodsport in that time.
Yeah.
Bloodsport, 1988. Cannot wait to discuss this film.
Cannot wait.
I mean, this is you know what? This is a major player in my youth. This and Kickboxer was where I sort of, Van Damme graced my eyeballs and I took on his catalogue.
Yep.
But before we get to that, let's run through quickly what we've been watching. Jared, I went to Final Destination 2. I skipped the first one. I remember liking the idea, but finding the first one to be kind of boring. But the sequel's fucking awesome. It's basically like Saw. Just a whole film's full of like traps.
Yep.
But they're so cool. Like they just do such a cool job of kind of like making out like something's going to happen, and they make you look at something. Oh shit, this guy's going to get electrocuted, and then something else happens on the sly, and I think they do a really good job with that shit.
Yep.
And most of them, I believe, are pretty good. My recollections are the last one has the fucking coolest ending. Like, it kind of circles back.
Yeah, I need to get back into them because I haven't watched them in ages.
I think 3's kind of shit.
Well, that was the one, wasn't that the one where we were in the cinema watching it and there was a song on the
behind
radio?
you.
We started giggling in the cinema like a pair of idiots.
Yeah.
Like.
Look, some of them are not all successful, but they're all entertaining, I think you'll find. So, I enjoyed Final Destination 2. I watched a slasher movie from the early 80s. I believe it was filmed in 1981, but not released until 1983. And it had Daryl Hannah, Rachel Ward, Adrian Zmed from Bachelor Party, and Joe Pantoliano. It's called The Final Terror. Nah.
There's a reason that
it was
stayed on the shelf.
Look, it was directed by Andrew Davis.
Yep.
So it probably had a little bit better sort of sheen to it, perhaps, but it was still pretty cheap jack sort of shit. And it actually had a little bit of that kind of just before dawn feel.
Yeah.
On the side as well. So it was kind of a slasher, kind of not. It was like a bit of a hillbilly movie. I don't know exactly how to where to sort of place it.
Other than shit.
Average. Yeah, it was on Tubi.
Yeah, right. Good old Tubi.
So I should have known immediately as
Tubi.
I fucking pressed on the Tubi app. This could be troublesome. I watched the final one of the third volume of Untold docos, Swamp Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Very much a puff piece. I mean, it does not go into any of the issues there
You and the Netflix docos are just in this uncomfortable waltz that you've been doing for about fucking 5 years.
For some reason, I keep walking out and go, would you like to dance?
Exactly. You keep looking at all the other people on the dance floor thinking, oh, I'm more attracted to them, but then you keep going back to the same dance partner and saying,
would you like to dance? Would you like to step on my toes? Fucking hell. No, you know what? Once again...
You're an eternal optimist.
I am. Well,
you're waiting for that.
This one's 4 episodes too, for fuck's sake. Once again, Netflix is going overboard with, how much information to put in there. And I think if you'd have covered some of the shit, it would have been worth 4 episodes.
Yeah.
But it's just... fuck, mate. Aaron Hernandez went there.
Yeah.
The guy's a fucking murderer.
Yeah.
He's a murderer.
Yep.
Like, you're covering any of that? You're not even going to touch on the fact that this guy was there and there was some issues when he was there too?
Well, didn't they make an Aaron Hernandez doco?
Yeah, they did.
But, you've probably already done the research.
Just you needed to get in there a little bit. It just wasn't very... It was basically just fucking saying how awesome these blokes were.
Yeah.
And look, I will say this much. It seems like Tim Tebow at least wasn't a fucking penis.
Well, like he's one of those
clearly a hard-working prick.
Yeah.
And also, I think he very much he was into his faith and that.
Yeah.
And he didn't sort of go away from it. And we didn't find him slumped in an alley somewhere.
Well, the thing about him is he's one of these guys where people remember him for this. He gets remembered for his sports failures after a little kind of a hot stretch.
Yeah.
But the guy seems like a decent fucking bloke.
Yeah.
You know, there's got to be an appreciation of that.
I prefer,
You're a decent fella.
Yeah. But that's it. That's the thing, isn't it? There's no appreciation for whether he's a good bloke or not. It's he couldn't cut it in the footballing arena.
Yeah, but as you said,
Who gives a shit?
he's probably fucking satisfied that he gave everything. It's because it sounds like he worked hard.
And very similar to what I said about
what he had.
Very similar to what. Well, sort of the opposite, I guess, to Manziel, but the same thing occurred. You know, Tebow didn't cut it at the higher level.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
For different reasons.
For different reasons, yes. It wasn't about work. It was just about that he perhaps wasn't quite there.
Yeah.
Manziel, on the other hand, his work ethic wasn't there and he didn't love it.
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see that differing dynamic across the two of those docos, which I did think that was kind of interesting to look at. Because, as I said to you, I don't fault Manziel for not enjoying the fucking stuff.
No.
But to me, it just seems like a real fucking grind.
Look,
Maybe
there's always a part of me that's like, if someone doesn't enjoy the sport, I can understand that. You're good at something that perhaps you don't enjoy.
But you also get presented with opportunities and you don't take them.
Yeah, I would also say, can I fucking deal with this for 5 years and never have to work again?
And I can say, yeah,
could.
I can.
I could probably crush the soul for a few years.
I can get off the piss and the coke for 5 years and be committed.
But I'm also the type of sports fan that, you know, if a guy does that for the team that I play for, I'm not going to fucking hate the guy for the rest of my life. I'm not going to fucking, every time someone brings him up, I'm not going to scowl and piss and moan. I might have a giggle at some of the bad times and things like that. But that's the thing. Like, I love my sports and I'm still heavily involved in them, but I'm also the absolute opposite of the people that fucking live and die by it every week. Like, I love watching a Spurs game. But if we suck, I'm like, well, fuck. We had fucking 20 years of the best you could hope for.
Yep.
So you gotta suck this up, don't you?
You got to take the good with the bad.
You got to enjoy it.
Yeah. And so that was the interesting part of that volume.
Yeah.
Is it kind of did showcase a little bit of that different side of it.
Yep.
But two players who had similar careers at NFL level where it didn't work. So that and the reasons behind it were different. I rewatched The Equalizer. In preparation to see The Equalizer 3.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to part 2, which is disappointing.
We may have to cover that too.
Yes. The original Equalizer, and I said this to my mate when we went and saw 3, it is a fucking 5 out of 10 picture. But then you throw in Denzel Washington, it's a fucking 8 out of 10.
Correct.
Like, the sequence when he kills those 5 blokes in the fucking road is fucking awesome. Like, it's just so awesome the way it's done.
I'll tell you this way. I'm not a Taken fan.
No.
But Liam Neeson has been living off that shit for, 15 years now? You put Denzel in any one of those pictures, I'll say, I'll watch that.
And it's a hit. Like, and Neeson was having some success for a while.
And Neeson's not a guy that I dislike. I think he's a very good actor.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's not Denzel.
No, that's right. And by the way, there was a preview for a new Neeson action picture from part 3.
But I believe out of the last, I think it was the last 5 or the last 10, none of that shit's top fucking double figures at the.
No. He cooled off. There was a period there.
Direct to video.
The Taken films and things like Non-Stop and that, they were successful because he had a hot streak going.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is that Washington never seems to phone it in. Even when he's kind of almost on autopilot sometimes, he's still fucking better than 95% of the actors out there. Yep. And I'm saying that's when he's cruising.
Yep.
When he's at the fucking top of his game and he's fully invested.
And he's given a quality bit of work.
Yeah. He's the best actor in Hollywood.
Yep.
Like, I would say he probably still is. He still is the best actor. Oh, Matty knows his resume fucking
inside out.
Doesn't even know who he is.
You're talking about Denzel Valentine, the point guard for Sydney.
So The Equalizer is kind of a real sort of bare bones sort of thriller. But then Denzel just elevates it to being much better than it probably should be.
Yep.
I guess the other thing about Denzel is he brings more money to the table.
Yep.
And then you get better people involved. Big fan of Martin Cossacks as the villain.
Yeah,
surprising. Like, I forgot all about him. But he's kind of really good in it. Because he's the absolute opposite. He's just this fucking guy who has no feelings for anything. He's just there to fucking sort this out. You know? And I really like that. There's a real cool conversation over dinner where him and Denzel kind of square off, and I really like it. I think it works out really well.
Yep.
And of course I went and saw The Equalizer 3.
Yep.
Not bad. Still on par with the others.
Yeah.
That they've dialed down some of the violence. I think probably because Denzel's 67. Now they wanted to kind of just pull away a little bit from having to show him punching and kicking and gouging people. And so it's a little less exciting, and there's a couple of superfluous kind of character situations in there.
Yeah.
But I actually really like the reunion between him and Dakota Fanning. It's been 20 years since Man on Fire. When she was like 10.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a couple of really good scenes where the two of them are together, and you can just sort of kind of see that there's a chemistry there between them that has always been there.
Yeah.
And you read the trivia about Man on Fire. They talk about how basically Tony Scott just kind of let the camera roll and just let them fucking improvise with each other.
Yeah.
And you can just kind of see that there's obviously a really good rapport,
there.
and there's always been a really good rapport. So it was good to see.
Just as an aside, bringing up Man on Fire, because I'd recently been reading a bit more Shea Serrano. There's a bit in his book that I cannot stop laughing at about how in Man on Fire...
How he knows how many times he's stuck fucking bombs up guys' bums and blown.
He goes, he plays that scene like that is not the first time he's jammed a bomb up someone's ass.
It's that old thing. They're sitting around the office and go, "What'd you do today?" "Oh, I jammed a bomb on a bloke's bum."
So good. So good. Yeah, I can't recommend his writing enough.
Yeah, I
you haven't grabbed the Action Hero Action Hero Scouting Report.
Yeah, it was fucking good. That
I think it's up on Gumroad or something like that.
Yeah, and that's it for me.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, I got a couple here that I'm sure you're going to be absolutely thrilled to hear about.
Yeah, let's start with full and end in mood.
I can't wait to dig into it. Okay, so I started with the Carrie TV version.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the remake.
No, so I mean I'd seen the remake in the last few years, and obviously the original. But I'd never seen the one that was made for TV and then didn't pan out, and so they just turned it into the TV movie. And I didn't know that it was fucking scripted by Brian Fuller. So I came across it, checked it out.
What was it like?
It wasn't great, but it actually has a couple of reasonable things about it. Like the girl that plays Carrie, I think is pretty good. She kind of dials it up, but I think she puts in a pretty good performance. I think one of the better parts is the mother. Because she's played by, what's her name? Patricia, can't remember her last
Clarkson?
name. Yes. And she's not fucking over the top. She kind of plays it like, I shouldn't say she's not over the top. She is over the top in her reactions to certain things, but
not constantly throughout.
Yeah, and it's not like a crazy, she actually plays parts like she legitimately thinks she's doing the right thing for the girl.
Yeah.
Obviously the effects and shit like that don't play out real well, but it is reasonably faithful as well, and it plays it like the book. Having read the book, how they play it in like newspaper clippings and things like that. It's all done in like talking to the police and kind of flashback interviews and shit. So yeah, I actually enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. It's not, like I said, it's not great, but I'd heard it was just terrible. So watching it, I thought, it's actually a worthwhile watch. So,
because the remake, and I was talking to my daughter's boyfriend because he just recently picked up some King with the Gunslinger.
Yeah, right.
And he fucking loved it. And we were talking about Carrie, and I said that the remake kind of had all the right pieces in place. Yeah. Like they got the right actors in my mind. But then it's like, I mean, fuck. You take Julianne Moore and you turn her into a fucking psychotic who rants and raves constantly like that. It kind of fucked all that up.
Yeah,
you've got this really good actress and you don't give her anything to work with. You just give her this, I need you to fucking dial this up to the fucking hill.
If she had played it like Patricia Clarkson played this one, I think
Would have worked out really nice.
Really, really worked well in that one. Of course, unfortunately, you had fucking Ansel Elgort or whatever his name is. Just every time I see that bloke, he just comes across like a cock.
You can't get on him, can you?
I can't on.
You can't get behind
just put him in the Noah Centennial category. Like, I just can't get on board with those guys for whatever reason.
He does tell a funny story though about his mum going to a Hollywood party and running into Bruce Willis and saying, "So who are you again?" He was like, "I'm Bruce Willis." She says, "So what do you do for a living?" He said, "I'm an actor."
I've made a few things in front of her.
I believe she said, "How's it going?" He's like, "It's worked out all right."
Yeah, it's done pretty well.
It's going okay. Yeah, look, I'm not an Ansel Elgort guy either. And again, I think, looking back at that remake, Chloe Grace Moretz just didn't, like... It doesn't work in the sense of, you know, when they pretty her up for the prom, like, all these people have been shitting on her. If she looks better than all of them, it's kind of like, it doesn't really work. Like, Sissy Spacek worked better because they really dialed her down in the initial phase.
Yep.
And I believe they do that with the TV movie.
Yeah.
She's much more sort of mousy.
Yes, correct. So yeah, I would say if you can get a look at it and it's in, you know, if you're a King fan, it's definitely worth checking out. One of the things that I was hugely disappointed at though was because it was made in, I believe it was made in Canada.
Oh.
Or had Canadian elements to the production. So Catherine Isabelle shows up as one of her kind of tormentors.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a big Catherine Isabelle fan. Every time I kind of see her in something, because she hasn't done a whole lot of high-profile work, I'm kind of like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited. This might be the worst.
Worst performance ever?
She's playing it like a, and I don't know whether she was told to or whatever, but she's playing it like a, it's almost like a fucking comic performance. So that's probably the biggest downer. I was like, yeah, Catherine Isabel's in it. Then
I wish she wasn't.
I'm like, oh, Jesus, Catherine, what are you doing to us? We're going to have to go and watch bloody Ginger Snaps again just to remember what you're capable of.
Cleanse the palate.
Whilst you were checking things like Equalizer 3, I dipped into the Meg 2.
Oh, no!
Fucking hell.
No.
Honestly, for the majority of the runtime, it's not a shark movie.
But what is it?
It's almost like underwater. There's these elements of where they get fucking trapped underwater and shit like that. Considering you're going to a movie called The Meg 2, you start off and there doesn't seem to be enough happening in that sense. And at the back end, there's just fucking way too much happening. There's too many characters. There's too much shit going on.
I mean...
I'll put it to you this way. I didn't hate it. I went in... I had a passable cinema experience. But I would have got the same... I would have got exactly the same feelings out of a sci-fi shark movie.
Yeah.
As I got out of this one. So I'm like, why the fuck are you spending... this money on
plus, I mean, box office wise, it seems to have not been a hit.
Well, I don't think it's been a huge hit.
Like, remember the first one made 600 mil.
Yeah.
This one's made like 350.
Yeah.
So it's a, and this is where I feel like a lot of people are looking at the current Hollywood landscape and going, well, fuck, we've got to stop spending so much money because
correct.
Even let's look at Mission Impossible. If that only costs 150, right? Because it didn't. It cost 290.
Jesus Christ.
525 at the box office or 550 at the box office. You're making profit. You're making some profit there, but you can't make a profit when you're spending 290. When you're making Blue Beetle for 125 and you've fucking banked 85, you're obviously not going to make any profit, are you?
No.
So these things are becoming problematic.
But 125 is a budget where you would say for a picture with some stature, not to say that Blue Beetle has, but But
you could make Blue Beetle for 60.
Yeah, you probably could.
Yeah. So what's happening is these fucking budgets are inflated to hell. Like, think about it. Look at Shazam, Fury of the Gods. That was banked.
I did look at it, Adam, and I was one of the handful of people that did.
I wish I'd gone blind.
Well, you're telling me to look at it. I did.
Yeah.
Did you look at it?
No, I didn't.
You were in the majority.
150 million. Who are you spending that on? Like, you don't have fucking big names in it.
Yeah.
So where's the budget going? Like, what the fuck are you spending it all on?
It's hard. I think we've got to we've got to get a little bit away from COVID because I think a bunch of these got blown out by
Yeah,
COVID.
they did. Like Mission Impossible
Tommy
was
Cruise was having to yell at people and
fucking TC. I tell you right now, we're spending $290 million, you cocksucker.
Listen, when I saw the budget sheet, I'd have been yelling louder than Tom.
Shit, I had 3
Put
masks
your
on.
fucking mask on. I've just looked at the budget sheet. If you don't put your
Holy
mask on, I'm
shit.
going to jam it up your fucking ass.
Yeah. TC was on fucking fired up. Like, but put it this way, that would have probably been made for like 180.
Yeah, it still would have been big.
It would have been, the budget would have been
close to
high, but you probably could have walked away and said it's made a little profit.
Yes.
Even though it's well under what the previous one made, I think. You know, Barbie and Oppenheimer are almost like anomalies.
Yeah.
Like everything else has gone shit to bed.
Mate, if Barbie and Oppenheimer weren't there, the box office would be like,
it's in fucking hell.
Let's shut down cinemas.
Yes.
Like, it's been disastrous.
Yeah. I mean, even this weekend, did you notice, like, Equalizer made big dosh first day on Friday?
Yeah, but it's not going to have a huge budget.
No, it's going to be... And this is the other thing about Denzel.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy makes reasonably budgeted films. He doesn't make fucking gigantic, big behemoths where there's a shitload of money being spent.
Yeah.
And they're always profitable.
Denzel's probably taking points, and he's saying that shit's not going to be more than 50 million.
Yeah.
Because I need my money.
Fucking,
you want Denzel? You get points.
Antoine Fuqua was setting up all these fucking cameras, and Denzel's like, mate, what did I fucking tell you?
No.
What did I tell you? You
tight.
got that
We're
shit
tight around
down.
here.
Yeah, mate, we are baking as much dosh as we can.
Yeah.
I guess it's because Denzel doesn't make like superhero movies or anything like that.
No. But again, keep your budgets fucking modest. Talk to Jason Blum. He'll look at your budget and he'll cut fucking 150 million out of that shit.
No, Blum is going, you're getting this much.
Yeah.
Here it is.
But that's the thing, right? As far as I know, he is noted for being not a meddler. He says, you control this, you do whatever creative decision you see fit is great. Here's how much it's going to cost you. And it's not going to cost a cent more.
Exactly. Don't come fucking cap in hand later because you ain't getting anything. But
and
look
I tell you...
But look
I've
at the
just
way
seen
he handles things like Jamie Lee Curtis, for instance, coming back for Halloween.
Yep.
Right? She would have got... I believe the budget for that was 15 to 20.
Yep.
For the 2018 Halloween. She would have got a modest paycheck.
Yeah.
Well, modest by standards of like Hollywood. So maybe a couple of million up front, potentially. But you know he would have been saying to her, you know what? We're making this for $20 million. This is going to make several hundred million.
Correct.
So we're going to give you some back end.
Yeah.
We're going to give you a producing credit.
Let me tell you, Jamie Lee has not been happier to be turning up on red carpets
Fucking oath.
the last couple of years.
I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis has had a fucking renaissance.
Look, it was not, 15 years ago when she said, kill me off and don't ever fucking speak to me again. Jason Blum
mentioned me
and
fucking
Halloween on the red carpet wearing fucking Fright Rags Halloween shirts.
Exactly. And because she knows that the series went in a direction I think she liked. Because I think she was one of these people who wanted to press the envelope a little on Michael Myers. Not have him be just a fucking boogeyman and the same shit.
Yeah. And as much as I dislike the last one, I'm happy for you to fucking take some goes like that out.
Yeah. And she has made a fucking substantial amount of money. I can guarantee it.
Jamie's lights are on.
They burning brightly. Stephen's still struggling to find the...
Stephen's on cold cuts this month.
He's got a furnace. He's shoveling coal still, the big
He's got
boy.
a fucking oil lamp occasionally, only every other night.
Yeah, he hasn't had steak in fucking months. All right, get on with it. Like, what else you got?
But just quickly before we move on, I just watched the fucking Five Nights at Freddy's trailer.
Oh, yeah.
That's budgeted at 25 mil.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, that's just looking at it, it's faithful to the games. Everything looks fucking excellent.
It'll
looks
get
like the game.
make a shitload of tax.
Blum is going to be filling up another pool's worth of money. Jason Blum is like
Is that
Scrooge
his?
McDuck.
Is that his?
That's Blumhouse. Yeah.
the fucking Blumhouse one.
Yep.
Yeah, he's like Scrooge McDuck the cunt. He's got that fucking gigantic vault out in the middle of the...
We keep talking to Tommy Cruise to save Hollywood. Just look, Jason Blum's door is open.
Yeah,
But
it's
anyway.
open. Get in.
So the next one, we'll probably be talking about this one at length too, Adam. I watched Subspecies 5.
Fucking score one for fucking Spiritas.
Spiritas
Over
is-
Chalamet.
I think Spiritas is up to about 5 now. Chalamet's still on a duck. So Kevin Spiritas is coming out ahead. Miles ahead.
Is Chalamet an Oscar winner?
Possibly. I
He's
wouldn't
at least
know.
a nominee.
I wouldn't know.
So you have
I treat him like Ansel Elgort's mum treats Bruce Willis.
Yeah. Who are you?
Honestly, the bloke would serve me my fucking dinner and I wouldn't know who he was.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, no. I've watched the Wonka trailer and had a giggle at it, so I do know.
Okay, so you
I at
feel
least
like
know
he'll
what
be
he
there.
looks like.
Okay, so you feel like he'll get on the board?
He'll get it. He'll get one, but I'll probably sit there going, "Oh yeah, I don't think Chalamet's my cup of tea."
Species 5 like.
You know what? I thought it was going to be an absolute disaster, but it was. I enjoyed it. I would say, out of my
You are the
definitive,
only person
out of my definitive subspecies ranking, second best out of the subspecies movies for me. No, look.
Would it have been shot in
Charles Band-
Romania?
I think it might have been. It was shot in the vicinity, in the general direction of Romania. But Charles Band is not spending anything. on
He's
these
not
movies.
spending a dime over like 100k.
So I was expecting this to look terrible, but it actually looked pretty good.
Is it directed by the same...
Yes, it's Ted Nicolau again. Back on board. Teddy Nicolau. Teddy Nickel and diming it.
Have they exhumed Ted Nicolau? Holy shit.
Look, I'm gonna say, only watch it if you've ever watched the other subspecies movies and thought, yeah, I could probably watch another one.
How was Kevin Spiritas though?
Spiritas was under heavy makeup, so I couldn't recognise the bloke.
He was trying to hide. I'll do it, but only if I fucking get made up so no one will recognise me.
Kevin Spiritas. Well, he's ahead on somebody's leaderboard.
Yours, you fucking silly prick. I continue. Shit.
So, subspecies. Check it out. I watched Smoke and Mirrors, the Tom Savini doco.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I actually think the worst part of it was that it had too much access to Savini. It
Really?
feels like he might have made it because it's him talking the entire time. There's other people occasionally kind of interjecting about him, but talk about someone that's lived an interesting life.
Oh yeah.
The bloke just tells you about his morning, and it's fucking more
He was
interesting
in
than anything you've ever
Vietnam,
done.
wasn't he?
He's in
He was a
Vietnam. He
combat
tells a
photographer.
fantastic fucking story about how he got off the front lines of Vietnam, and you know, he tells about how his special effects, he fucking got his start by going down and knocking on the window of the local fucking horror host's studio and ending up getting his monsters on stage, and the fact that he, you know, I think you've probably heard it before, but the fact that when he was about fucking 14 or 15, he dressed himself up as Dracula to go to this local... Well, he went to a local magician's show and saw that they picked a kid out of the show to be Dracula.
Yeah.
And so the next time he went and fucking dressed up as Dracula with his own costume, and he's like, I made sure that I was getting picked.
Yeah.
And then the next thing he's like, I started touring with them and they paid me in milkshakes and nickels. Like, you were fucking 15, Tom. What were you doing? But anyway, yeah, the guy's had an incredibly interesting life.
Oh yeah.
And
But I'd
obviously-
like to hear from his peers.
Well,
talking
yeah,
about him.
and there is a little bit of that, and they do go into other stuff that I was happy that they did too, like how he pulled back on it due to family stuff and opened the school,
Yeah.
which was awesome. That's
Oh, is that why
happy
he
to-
sort of got out of the game?
There was family situations where he had to take on one of his kids. Again, really kind of... I mean, he had one kid who ended up moving away from him who he didn't grow up around and whatever. Sorry, the kid didn't grow up around him. Then he had another kid who was living with the mother who he had to take back when she was reasonably young. And so, yeah, it was pretty incredible stuff, but I think it would have been nice to hear from other people more. But worthwhile watch. Absolutely a worthwhile watch. After that, I went on to another doco. I went to Hell and Back, the Kane Hodder story.
Okay.
Again, fuck, holy shit.
Yeah.
He goes deep into his injury. That takes up.
When did the injury happen?
So the injury happened early on. I think he was about 22.
He was a stunt man, yes.
He was kind of pushing into the stunt game.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he goes deeper than I've ever heard about the injury and the recovery.
Huh?
Yeah, fucking hectic, all
yeah,
right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's one tough motherfucker, right?
He
There's
is
no doubt about
fucking
that.
tough, all right. He mentions, like, the fact that he talks about how he was in care for about 4 months. And, you know, it's not really spoilers because it's all out there, but he goes in depth on it. But basically says after the 4 months he got moved to a fucking burns unit and basically discovered that the shit that they'd been doing for 4 months was stuff they shouldn't have been doing, and if he had gone to the burns unit initially, it would have saved him a lot of hassles and whatever. But the big thing for me was his old man had been in combat and had seen people get addicted to painkillers. So on the sly, had told the first doctor at the first place, who Hodder does not have nice things to say about.
I'm sure he doesn't.
Basically, his old man said to him, "Can you not give him fucking high-level painkillers?" Because he was scared he was going to get addicted. Oh. And the doctor said, "Yeah, righto." So he was fucking recovering from severe burns without heavy.
I mean, I do get that, but there's a reason why there's opioid drugs.
Yeah.
Because there's at times the pain is fucking immense.
Yeah.
And the only way to get some relief is to use opioids. That's
same. I think his dad had the best intentions, but
badly thought out.
But the thing that came out of that for me was you forget how much the guy did. He was in fucking everything.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking in everything.
As far as fucking stuntman, I think he's very well regarded, isn't he?
Yeah. That was really cool. I got into the cinemas again and checked out The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Oh, yes.
I enjoyed it. Obviously, we've had so many Dracula movies and things like that it was really cool to see it from this angle of like, well, let's take a chunk of the story that is in every version but hasn't really been told. So let's go for that. Obviously, it suffers from the problem of, well, you know where it sort of ends up. But I actually really enjoyed it. Lost a little bit of steam towards the end, but highly recommend it.
Okay.
I would check it out.
Good.
Another cinema visit. I was there a little bit.
Fucking spend your time at the cinemas.
I ducked into the doco Rose Gold, Adam, which was it was only out for a week, but it was about the Boomers winning the medal.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be
the less said about their recent
form, the better. I believe that in about fucking 10 minutes' time, they're about to wrap up their World Cup tournament, but. Yeah, it was really cool. I think it's going to be on ABC or something. It had some ABC involvement, but it was only a 1 week cinema run, so I thought, I want to check it out in the cinemas.
Was it good?
Yeah, really cool. It speaks to a handful of the players, the big players like Joe Ingles and Paddy Mills and stuff like that, but I'll tell you what, it's never going to fail to fucking to make me tear up watching Andrew Gaze tear up when he's speaking about all the failures and, you know, getting so close and the bad refs calls and shit like that. And then he just breaks down and I'm sitting there going,
Gazy. But you know why? Because you feel for Gaze.
Yeah,
because he was
the bloke.
He was the heart and soul of the Australian team. When
well,
we weren't running around with an entire team full of NBA talent.
Correct, but you also realise that he's not fucking upset. He's not fucking bemoaning his own community. No. The guy was genuinely fucking just
he was
overcome with the emotion of the moment.
He was stoked that we won
happy about it. And knows, you know, everyone will fucking credit Andrew Gaze with being the heart and soul of that shit for so long, like, that he's a part of it, regardless of whether he was on the team or not. So, yeah, that was really cool to watch. I finally fucking got a hold of Big Fan.
Oh, with Peyton Oswalt?
Yeah, it seemed to... It was really hard to get on streaming for ages.
Yeah, I definitely saw it and really liked it. I thought it was totally different angle.
Well, it's one of the most fucking frustrating movies. Well, not frustrating, like, it's a really good movie, but it's frustrating to watch this guy who's just he's the way that he's wrapped up in the team and the guy that fucking belted him up and stuff like that it's fucking very intriguing to watch.
Yeah. It's kind of scary too because there are people like that.
Yeah, outstanding performance from him.
Yeah.
I love how they make it just his little world. Him, fucking Philadelphia Phil, his fucking silly mate.
Yeah.
And they've got nothing else. Yeah. Absolutely nothing else. So
and looking at it in the context of The Fan, the one with De Niro.
Yep.
And looking at this one's more what you would expect. The Fan was kind of over the top,
Yeah.
like Fatal Attraction type of thing.
Yes.
Whereas this one was like grounded.
It's
These
very
guys
grounded.
exist.
Yeah, it's very grounded.
Like, the fact that there are fucking sports people out there who have to deal with these people.
And I love the situation that they put him in. Like that, this is the guy that you idolise. I love that everyone's to blame. Like the guy that the fucking player looks like a bit of a dill. Looks like he might have been, the what comes before, which looks like a drug deal and all this sort of stuff. But Oswald's behaviour is fucking not okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And so everyone's...
And everything's going well, and then he fucking shoots his mouth off about how he followed you here.
Yeah. And it's fucking intriguing watching it from that point. It's almost like, without him, there's nothing for me. And, yeah, fucking really good watch. Really good watch. Then I got into a bit of fan film territory.
Oh.
So I watched Dylan's New Nightmare.
Oh, yes, you did mention this the other day.
35 minutes, I believe it goes for. It's a fan film that was kickstarted with Miko Hughes to do a bit of a follow-on story from New Nightmare.
And how is it?
It's not bad. It's not too bad at all. Like, it's so hard in that 35 minutes to really make something that's going to last for you. I find fan films are so hit and miss. Like, most of them are miss. Occasionally you get a real gem like the Batman Endgame kind of thing that you just remember forever. This one's kind of in the middle. Like, it looks really good. The guy that plays Freddy, considering you're working on a Kickstarter budget, I think they've raised all up at maybe 150, 200k or something to make it. Guy that plays Freddy does a reasonable fucking facsimile of Robert Englund, because I was thinking, oh shit, this is where it could really go bad. Some sequences...
So maybe they dusted Robert off.
No, Robert wasn't not involved.
No.
Some sequences that look really, really solid, but the story feels kind of incomplete and like you couldn't really go where you wanted to go on the budget.
Yeah.
But I would definitely say have a look at it. Obviously, it's free on YouTube.
Okay.
So then I followed that up with a Friday the 13th fan film called Vengeance 2 Bloodlines.
Vengeance 2 Bloodlines?
Yes. So Vengeance 1. These
also
are both
on
YouTube. These are both feature length.
Feature length?
90 minutes.
Shit. And
this one does some really solid work with Jason. The Jason stuff looks really cool. The downside of it is to make sure Jason is really cool. They load it with so many people. There's so many people in it. But by that token, CJ Graham's in it. Tom Matthews is in it.
Oh, really?
Tom McLaughlin's in it.
Tom McLaughlin is in it.
Tom McLaughlin actually plays... He's kind of like this fucking scumbag that's hanging around the cemetery. I probably shouldn't give it away if you're going to watch it, spoiler territory. But about halfway through, he makes his comment about, I should have listened to Uncle Martin and fucking this guy's a farthead or whatever. And I'm like, oh, what?
They did a nice
They've connected it to him. But CJ Graham plays Elias Voorhees.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And Tom Matthews is Tommy Jarvis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they link it heavily to part 6. Doesn't quite work out, but some of the Jason stuff is really cool. And I enjoyed the first one too. So they're a couple of the fan films that they've put a hell of a lot of work into. So I would say, yeah, if you got a couple of hours, you can punch through them, and you'll probably be satisfied with the kills. There's a massive amount of kills and Jason doing Jason things.
Okay,
that was pretty cool. Dipped back into Napoleon Dynamite for the first time in a long time. Yeah. Look, I still laugh my ass off. I do too.
And
it's actually a really kind of sweet movie in a lot of ways.
Uncle Rico's my god. He's fucking awesome. He makes me fucking laugh every single time.
I have not laughed quite as hard as when Napoleon's on the fucking time machine and it's buzzing and he kind of grabs his nuts. He's like, turn it off. It doesn't work. And Rico kind of limps out holding his nuts going, I could have told you that. Absolute dildo. But yeah, heavy laughs. I laughed a lot. I thought I'm going to look back on this and think what an idiot I was when I was a kid.
No,
I
it's still
really
funny.
enjoyed it. It's still funny. I then dipped into Netflix horror. Killer Book Club.
Oh, yeah, I was interested in that, but then you shot it down quick.
Yeah, I shot it down very quickly. Let me
The
tell you.
Spaniards have fucked this up, haven't they?
Fucked it up. Some people
Is
mentioned
it a show? It's a show.
No. It's a movie.
Oh.
Some people mentioned that they liked the kills and the chases and stuff. I just didn't get it. I thought they were very ordinary at best. I mean, if you've seen I Know What You Did Last Summer and you've seen Scream, you can pick this shit apart in
5 seconds.
Yeah, it's just not good.
Okay.
And I think it suffers from some of the translation issues as well.
Yeah.
I find that Netflix, you watch some of these things that have been made overseas and sometimes the translations come across. I watched this and some of the dialogue, I was just thinking, oh my God. And I think it's possibly the translation coming across.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fucking... And you get down the stretch and there's things that are supposed to be surprises. Whereas if you've been paying fucking scant attention, you're like, well, hang on a minute, there's still more to play out here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I couldn't recommend it at all. And that was it.
Okay.
I talked too long about fucking subspecies and and the merits of Kevin Spiritas over Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, shit.
What do the Oscars know?
But you know what, though? That shit's got to be talked about.
Of course.
Yeah, it's got to be talked about somewhere.
Kevin Spiritas needs his flowers.
Come on.
Chalamet's already fucking got it. He's cutting.
Okay. Chalamet's a darling on the indie scene, but fuck. Yeah, Spiritas has been fucking slogging away in the salt mines and shit fucking movies in Romania for years.
Correct.
All right.
We love you, Kevin.
We love you, Kevin. Just that's putting it out there. All right, let's take a break. Here's the trailer from 1988's Bloodsport.
The Kumite, the world's ultimate competition. The true story of a contest so deadly it must be held in total secrecy. Now, one American has come to this hidden location to win the toughest battle of hand-to-hand full-contact karate. Martial arts sensation Jean-Claude Van Damme fights to be world champion in Bloodsport, rated R.
Starts Friday at select theaters.
Bloodsport from 1988, directed by Newt Arnold, who directed Hands of a Stranger. It's produced by Mark DeSalle, who produced Mother's Day. And the story is by Sheldon Lettich, who wrote Double Impact. And the screenplay is by Sheldon Lettich, Christopher Cosby, and Mel Friedman, who wrote Deadlocked, Escape from Zone 14. Now, just to let you know, this motion picture is based upon true events in the life of Frank W. Dukes.
Allegedly.
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 We'll talk quite a bit about Frank.
We'll talk a bit about Frank.
It stars Jean-Claude Van Damme as Frank, Donald Gibb as Jackson, Lee Ayres as Janice, and Bula Young as Chong Lee. The budget was $1.1 million and the box office was $12 million. Now, trivia. This is where we'll start the discussion about Frank. The movie was touted as a true story, but over the years, doubts have arisen about its veracity. Most martial arts enthusiasts view Frank Dukes' accounts of competing in secret tournaments as complete fiction. Along with his claims he was an undercover CIA operative.
Yeah?
Frank, they don't... If you're in the CIA, you don't talk about it.
I was going to say, Frank, if somebody talks as much as you, they don't make it through the interview process, mate.
Exactly. They have an accident, Frank.
You need to have some discretion, my friend.
Now, some have pointed out that nobody else has come forward to confirm his story about competing in secret tournaments or told their own version. Frank, smart move, they're secret tournaments.
Of course.
Nobody's willing to talk.
Frank's always got the fallback of, they're secret. Nobody else wants to talk about them.
It is now generally accepted that Dukes lied his way into Hollywood.
Yeah?
And that he has likely never won or even competed in a single martial arts tournament. Records obtained through the Freedom of Information Act show he was only in the US Marine Corps Reserve and was never posted overseas, let alone to Southeast Asia, as he claimed. The CIA has no record.
Secret, Adam.
I know.
Secret.
The CIA has no record of ever working with him.
Surprising.
This is my favourite bit of the entire thing. His personal brand of martial arts, Do-Rai Ninjutsu, is a complete fabrication.
Frank.
Frank. I mean, just one bullshit story, mate. Like, not everything. For fuck's sake. Learn, like your George Costanza doesn't do this much fucking lying.
No, that's right. Costanza feels ashamed of himself at some point. It's not easy.
Of course, Costanza does. He fucking feels ashamed of himself.
Oh, God.
All right. I'm going to come straight out of the blocks. Okay?
Yep.
This movie is fucking ridiculous.
Yep.
The plot is non-existent. The acting sucks. But I don't care.
Yeah.
I fucking love this movie.
Yep.
I love it. And you know why? Because when it boils down to what it should be doing, which is beating the piss out of people, it does it really well.
Correct.
Like, really well. On the scale of fucking awesomeness, it's 5 out of 5. On the actual scale, on the scale of believability, 0 out of 5.
I'll give it a half.
But on the scale out of 5, 3.5.
3.5.
Snake eyes, mate.
You know what?
Yeah, I could watch this fucking any day of the week.
Any day.
If you said to me, we're putting on Bloodsport today, I'm like, fucking I'm taking 2 hours out of my workday.
Yeah. Well, I'm
in a meeting.
I'm working on the Penske file. I went the same. I went 3.5. I went back and revised to a 4. Because this might be the number one case of it should be a fucking 2-star.
Well, it should be a fucking 1 star.
It should be 1 star.
Everything about it is cut rate.
Yeah.
But then when we get into the Kumite, where it's just fucking just on.
Yeah, it's on. It has a handful of moments that are in the action movie pantheon of the greats.
Yeah.
Bolo Yeung is completely kind of... I don't think he's underrated, but I think it just needs to be said again. He's fucking fantastic, and he's equal to Van Damme through the picture in limited kind of work.
He's not a great actor.
No,
but that's not about that. He's a presence. He's a fucking force.
He's got the biggest fucking pecs I've ever seen.
I know, and he does a lot of peg flex. And I tell you what, I've always wanted to be able to do that, but I cannot do it.
Oh, fuck it, yeah.
And fucking Bulldog gets it going. He just does it for something to do.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, as you said.
All the story beats are so cliched and everything, but it's just like fucking awesome.
But it's also one of the ones where the things that I mean, my likes are going to be heavily outweighed by my dislikes on the list, but all the dislikes are shit that I fucking still love and I laugh at. But it's also got the element of, and this kind of feeds into my stars, is that Frankie Dukes, the whole Frank Dukes element of it, has kind of given it fucking legs.
Yeah.
We're still talking about the veracity of it. Fucking 20 years, 20 plus years down the track.
It's total shit.
It's total bullshit.
It's total bullshit, Frank. It's total bullshit.
But it's 25 years.
Just come out and say it's bullshit, Frank.
It's 25 years and we're still talking about that. But then it's also got this other cultural fucking significance of the Mortal Kombat stuff as well, which I love Mortal Kombat. I absolutely love Mortal Kombat. I was never any good at it, but I still love it. It's basically
Mortal Kombat. It is Mortal Kombat.
It's. I mean, the story's pretty fucking well known that they wanted to make the Johnny Cage was supposed to be JCVD, but they couldn't work out the rights thing. So then you look at it, it's basically Jean-Claude in this, still in the fucking splits and the nut punch and all that sort of stuff, and they just built it around that. But this time around, having not watched it in a while, I picked up other stuff about it that had influenced.
And look, I'm going to throw this right out there because you know what?
Great.
I've actually got a soft spot for JCVD.
Yeah,
I'm actually.
Of course you do.
It'll be interesting to read that book that I got, The Last Action Heroes, which has quite a bit about JCVD as well. It'll be interesting to read about him, behind the scenes.
Yeah,
but the bloke again, not a great actor, Certainly not at this time. I feel like he's improved a lot.
He
Like,
has.
Van Damme now you see Van Damme and he's solid.
Yep.
Solid actor. But back then he was green. But the physicality of the bloke. Like it's fucking like he is perfect. Like as a director of this sort of film, you'd be like, fuck, we've struck gold with this bloke.
Yeah.
Like he can do all sorts of shit that we want.
Yes. And he's kind of got that blend of, and I probably haven't given him credit for this before, but he's got a blend of the Stallone and the Bruce Willis. Like
Yeah.
he's got the Stallone fucking physique and stuff, because of his kind of small stature and stuff like that. There is a little bit of I'd probably get that if I hit the gym 17 times a fucking
If I ate fucking four skinless chicken breasts a day and woke up at 3 a.m. to eat a fucking sandwich.
While up at 3 a.m. for a chicken sambo with two breasts on it.
Fucking ask Hugh Jackman about how much he enjoys a fucking chicken sandwich at 3 a.m. I believe he's not happy.
No. And Hugh's got a few years added on to this time around too, so he's probably fucking filthy this time. Because I believe he pulled up stumps on Wolverine, but he's going again. But anyway, yeah, like it's
you're right. But he actually, the other thing he also brings, and it's interesting that you mentioned the Bruce Willis comparison, is that he doesn't always feel like he's gonna kick ass. Even though you're looking at his skill set and thinking this guy would fucking wipe
it takes
the
a few hits.
He would absolutely wallop some of these pricks.
He always has taken a few.
I kind of dig the fact that he doesn't
fallen
mind.
into the cigar trap.
No. Like, I am so fucking good that I can't be touched.
Yep.
Van Damme's always been happy to get fucking belted around a bit.
Correct.
And I feel like that works here too.
Yep.
But the thing is, Bull-O Young is such a fucking unit that even if Van Damme's a muscly prick, I'm still thinking Young's going to whip his ass. Like, he's bigger and stronger than him. Like,
yes. You're still feeling in the fucking run of the movie, he's got some work ahead of him.
Yeah, exactly.
And the fight, ends up playing
awesome.
out like that. So, yeah, 4 stars in total for me.
Straight off the bat, the fight scenes are really well choreographed.
Frankie Dukes did that, didn't he?
Well, ask him. I'm sure
he did.
I'm sure he did. And I think he did it in the quickest time. He directed the quickest. He choreographed the quickest fucking action scene there.
Yeah.
You fucking bullshit artist. They're super over the top, but because they hire legit martial artists, like everyone in the mix at the Kumite, apart from Donnie Gibb, are legitimate martial artists. Like they're clearly martial artists.
But they differentiate them a little bit too.
The guy who kind of shuffles around on the floor, you've got that dude who holds his hands out and... I mean, there's a moment that I'm going to get to.
There's one that's very clearly like a Muay Thai kickboxer up against Bolo, who's got his martial arts skills, but also combines it with that fucking...
muscle.
The WWE squash match kind of...
And all of them do a really good job selling the fights.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're sold really well. And I think... And I don't know... obviously Newt Arnold didn't make a lot of films, but I think he was involved in some other stuff, editing maybe, with some bigger pictures. And he kind of knows his way around. And I guarantee you they would have hired some decent people to choreograph. And it looks great.
Yeah.
And you know what? I was initially thinking, I remember so much slow-mo happening. But it's in the right places.
Yeah.
It's all in the right places. They never overdo the slow-mo. They never... they just whack it in there when they have to. Mm-hmm. And it works really well in the final fight between Chong Li and Dukes. I'm going to call him Frank from now on. I don't really want to connect him to
Frankie Dukes.
Soundtrack! Some of the most ridiculous songs I've ever heard.
Some of the most ridiculous. They are way over the top. But
Eye of the Tiger wishes it was some of this.
Oh, man.
There's one called the Kumite, I believe.
But also, some of the scored stuff, I had not picked up on this before, but there was a couple with Chong Li where I was like, it feels like I'm fucking playing Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Because the music in there sounded so much like it, and it worked really well. Worked really well. Like the fucking foreboding kind of sounds when Chong Li comes out. Like I expected, the old Mortal Kombat to finish him before he starts breaking necks and shit like that. that stuff works far better than I'd picked up on previously.
Yeah, I would agree. I have absolutely no issues. And
Don't
look, you know what?
I don't know if I could say the ballads and the power.
No, they haven't. But you know
they
what?
Didn't nail that stuff.
But that was the 80s.
It was.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you were searching out that kind of shit. You were including that kind of shit. And the fact of the matter is, a guy like Stallone, that was the Stallone template. And in fact, looking at this, it reminds me very much of Rocky IV.
Yeah.
It's just a massive montages with not much else in between. Like,
I mean, if it wasn't for Sylvester, fucking Survivor and Frankie Stallone would still be looking for a crust somewhere.
Jesus Christ. Frankie Stallone, I can't believe he fucking sold out, what, Bally's or some shit on that. Might
have been One Night Stallone.
I think it was One Night Stallone. I actually like the start that gives you like a quick 2-minute brief run through of who we'll be seeing.
Yeah.
It's effective because you know what? These guys aren't characters.
It is.
They're just people who turn up.
Can you tell me, everything goes well until there's one person of a darker skin colour persuasion and they have him jump up a tree and chop a coconut?
Yeah, that's probably not the best thing.
Other than that, everything works out pretty well.
I think that hasn't aged well.
That has not aged very well, no.
No, that hasn't. But other than that, I feel like you just give us a quick 2 minutes of the kind of people we'll see at the commentary.
Yeah, and they're training in their
environment,
style,
and we don't need to know them because they are not really characters. They are just fighters that we will see. Nope. And that's where that Mortal Kombat connection comes in.
Correct. And this is what it does really well. You develop that, and even the guys that are like fucking in the periphery, you get a sense of, oh shit, that's a guy to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Because he gets in there and he does some cool shit against somebody else. And so
and I feel like that works because it keeps you invested in the other fights.
It does, yeah.
Then when it's not just Van Damme, and they smartly don't just roll out Van Damme every time to kick some heads. What we do is we go, okay, Dukes will be fighting this day, but then there'll be 4 other fights that we'll see a little touch of, and I think that's a good move.
You know, of course, you watch enough of this shit, we know if it's very likely going to play out as Frank and Chong Li, but you still, as you said, you're still invested because the work is good.
Yeah.
And you want to know,
good.
And you want to know, who is this guy?
Yes. So I really appreciated the fact that they kind of did that.
Yep.
Because it could have fallen into Van Damme's the star. We're going to see Van Damme every single, like all the fights are going to be just Dan Van Damme's fights.
Yep.
And it's a little bit where the problem lies with things like Kickboxer and Lionheart, that sort of stuff, where they just focus on Van Damme. And there's not much else.
Yep.
So I appreciated what they did here. The training montage, absolute genius. You know what? I have never laughed so hard to watch Van Damme get thrown on his ass 50 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just keeps cutting to him going, yeah, on the fucking ground.
But again, I mean, we're laughing at that, but can you ever remember Seagal fucking having to push?
No.
I mean, it takes a leaf out of the Rocky playbook.
Yes.
And it works because it's like the whole Rocky thing is you always get the sense Rocky's not up to this.
Yeah.
And he's got to go through something to get there. Van Damme's, he does it a little bit earlier because the Kumite stuff takes a lot longer than just one fight.
Yeah.
So it goes through a little bit earlier, but it's fucking sound. It works for a reason.
It's sound, although I don't know if the training is sound.
The training's not sound.
I'm going to say this. Yes, I understand fighting blindfolded.
Yeah.
But serving a meal? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, I have definitely tipped hot scalding tea on the bloke. I fucking definitely have.
I mean, that was in my dislikes, but I've got my dislikes. I can't really call them dislikes because I fucking laugh my ass off and
Also, why are we stretching the cunt till he's
well, serving a fucking hot beverage blindfolded, but also throwing random punches while he's doing that. That's what I loved about it. Because that is the one that fucking comes out as this is the one you really needed. Because he gets blinded in the fight. Lucky, I remember.
Okay, if I'm serving a bento somewhere and I can't see, fuck, perfect.
Yeah, lucky I remember that time when I was serving that Earl Grey. And I had to do it blindfolded.
And after 25 goes of dropping it in his lap. I finally got it right.
The other one, the one that comes straight after that, it fucking makes me giggle. He's trying to meditate while the bloke's there going, whack, whack, whack. And then he starts talking about you learn to meditate without having your focus taken off. I don't know anybody that could meditate without having that take their focus off. You just paddled my backside, you prick. Of course
You are fucking spanking my ass with a piece of bamboo, you prick. Like, clearly, even if I'm in a meditative state, that's going to hurt.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And I understand what you're getting at. Like, well, do I?
I get the theory.
The theory
I don't
is
think this is working.
you want me to sort of block out pain.
Yeah.
And just focus on the now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, if I'm meditating on the ground at home and my dog steps off the couch and stands on my balls, I am no longer meditating, Jack. I'm in the moment, and at this very moment, I can feel a paddle on my ass, and it doesn't feel good. Yeah. I can't understand why the fuck are we stretching the living shit out of the bloke?
Well, I would have thought, if you go and speak to the people that are in the know, they're probably saying, a little bit of stretching afterwards, get yourself a chocky milk, a couple of slices of pizza to get the carbs back in you. What do you reckon? Should I put some ropes up on a tree and stretch the guy until I dislocate some limbs? Oh, I probably wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess, do what works.
Do what works for you. My absolute all-time favourite part of the entire training montage is that it's pretty clear that Van Damme's been standing in that guy's living room for 10 minutes staring into fucking space. yeah. Thinking back to
flashback. Oh, brilliant.
He's just standing there going...
Yeah.
Looking fucking go on.
And Mrs. Tanaka says,
shit for
I asked
days.
you 5 minutes ago, tea?
Yeah,
if you want some, I'll serve it blindfolded. I've become quite good at that. And don't you dare even think to throw a punch at me while I'm doing it. 'Cause I'll have you.
Yeah. Also, Tanaka looks like he's fucking dead when he opens it.
I thought he was too. I thought it was a fucking viewing door. I thought it was a prank.
He's lying there like this. I'm like, is he dead? Dave goes, are you awake?
Well, I was dead. So you fucking woken me up now.
That guy is Chatalau in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Yeah, right.
He steals the fucking diamond.
Funnily enough, you didn't read this in your Frank Duke section, but it seems like a good time to address it. I believe when they asked about the real Tanaka or whatever, the real person, he gave a name, and it couldn't actually be verified that this person existed, and then they actually found a ninja in the novel of You Only Live Twice with the same name, Tanaka. And they brought that up, and Frankie Dukes mentioned, but Ian Fleming likes to name his characters after real people too.
Oh, Frank, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Look, the jig is up, man.
I think it's been up for a while.
Jesus Christ. Bolo Yung, he's intimidating. He's a presence. He's a big unit. Mm-hmm. He makes a lot of funny faces sometimes.
He does.
But he works as the villain.
But mostly they worked. There was a couple of times when he kind of sort of sneers or laughs or whatever, and it's like...
And it works, it does.
Hey, that works.
And what I like about it is, in any other contest... Apart from the one in Frank Dukes' mind.
That contest has been going for a lot of fights at it. I believe 350 odds.
The only thing Frank actually learned to talk out of his ass.
Yeah.
But in any other contest, Chong Li is going to kick everyone's ass.
Yep.
Like, there's just this feeling that, like, the idea that he's the champ and all that works a treat.
Yes.
And
well, you look at him and you fucking against everybody else there, you're like, Yeah, that guy's the champ.
Oh, fuck, he must be.
Yeah.
He must be the
As I
champ.
said, he's fucking... One of his pecs is bigger than just about...
It's as big
every
as
other
my
competitor.
fucking head.
Yeah.
One of his pecs.
But he
and
walks
he can bounce it around.
But he's, the fact that he was a legitimate martial arts practitioner
And a big
and
a
got into
bodybuilder.
bodybuilding as well.
Shit.
When he walks out and he fucking struts out and stands there, you look at him and you're like, holy shit. His pec looks like it is down past his fucking belly button.
Yeah,
Like
he's a fucking big boy.
Yeah.
But you can believe that he is going to win. But then they throw in the villainous side of it. So they sketch out this very villainous character, but it works because it's such a simplified plot.
Yeah.
There's not much else to Chong Li.
Yes. And
But
they
he's
give
just
him
a
enough.
bastard.
Yeah,
He's just
yeah,
a
they give him
mongrel.
enough.
And so I appreciate that. But I do like a couple of times, kind of see him in the crowd smiling and kind of nodding when he watches Van Damme kick someone's ass. So you kind of get this feeling like he appreciates the skills.
Yes.
But he's going to
But they give him, there's a couple, as you said, there's a few gestures that he makes to the crowd. They give him that moment where he tastes his blood and then kind of gets up like, I needed that, almost.
Yeah.
And kind of, there's just enough of the moments that just make him that iconic.
Yeah.
And can I just let you know, Adam, at the time of filming, Bolo Yong was the same age that I am now. Let me just say, I don't look like that.
I don't want to fucking burst your bubble, but
I don't want to burst your pec muscle, but it doesn't look that big.
I know. I don't think you're about to fucking toe anyone's date.
No. I wouldn't suggest if I walked into the Kumite, anyone would be fucking pooping their pants at the moment.
The only person who'd be putting their pants would be you.
Exactly.
Right now.
Because my pre-match diet wasn't what it should have been. They said,
I've been eating street food.
yeah. They said, get yourself a good meal pre-fight. I said, I went to KFC. I'll see you in 10 minutes because I've got to
You've been eating fucking Thai street food, you silly prick.
And not the good ones.
Back alley stuff. You're eating from the fucking back alley where the commentator's taking place.
I'm eating from the back alley where that guy was kind of going, and walked past you. Well, the price was right.
Yeah, okay, let's get into it here. No, huge props for Bolo Young's chest flexing though too.
Yeah.
He does it fucking constantly.
Oh,
He's just constantly wandering around going.
It's like a fucking pair of basketballs just
He's like a good cucaracha. Okay, one of my favourite sequences. A group of Arabs seem to be harassing the fucking reporter.
Yeah.
And then Van Damme comes over and in a classic piece of misogyny, he says, listen, I'll tell you what, why don't we gamble for her? Fucking hell, what?
And she gives it a what? All the blokes go, yeah, don't worry about
I know. And look, I could not. It was terrible. It was just terrible stuff.
Yeah.
But then I could not stop laughing about how he took the coin and replaced it with another, which I think is probably physically not possible.
Yeah, he left change.
And so I don't think that's possible.
Classic move.
You would have to be so fucking quick, it wouldn't be funny.
I've heard Jim Kelly talk about Bruce Lee doing that.
Oh, maybe Bruce Lee could do it, but no one else.
Do it, but Frank Dukes couldn't do it.
Frank Dukes wouldn't have even got the first coin.
No. Yeah, you're right. It's that one is. It's one of those scenes where you look at it and you're like, well, that fucking.
And then she's
that
like,
part of it doesn't
she
work.
fucking swoons.
I know.
At the bloke.
Of course. You left change. Okay. Well,
I'm yours. Although I guess she does get to ogle fucking Van Damme's ass at the end.
In his classic kind of, crackers that have got to be up around. He's got to. His crackers are hipsters.
They're more like stomachsters, I think. They're fucking so high up. At one point, his pants are fucking up round his. Are they the same fucking get? That's the same get up he was in kickboxer?
Possibly.
When he was dancing in the bar?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, but he loves it. He loves the high pant work.
I know. I love it. Admittedly, it gives him a little bit more room for flex.
Well, of
when
course.
when he's doing.
But when you've been doing that, when you've been pulled between trees for the past, 10 years or whatever he was training with Tanaka, that's easy.
Yeah. I know. I'm asking, why are we doing this?
When's this going to be useful in a fight? Oh, of course. We're going to have to drop down and punch someone in the balls. I get it now.
But I can still do that without being fucking put on the rack.
Can you though? Can you? Oh God.
You can. I do like too that Chung Lee, his warm up for a fucking fight is fucking bush hanky.
The old bush hanky, yeah.
That's on the mat, you filthy.
Yeah.
Although the mat looks like a fucking the Florida nightclub.
But of course, the super secret tournament's got a fucking hefty cleaning staff that comes out after every fight. So.
Including some dirty cunt who fucking takes gold teeth. I mean, he fucking puts it in his mouth to check if it's real. It just came out of a guy's head.
Exactly. Oh my God, it's still got blood on you, you grub.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I'm not going to lie, the mat was pretty fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
I mean, you could wash that thing down properly, can't you?
Yeah. I'm definitely backing up. Well, you're going to step in that first. You just use a Kleenex, you filthy.
There's a nice montage of punch-ups where we get to know the fighters early on.
Yep.
We see a few of these guys, like the guy who rolls around on the mat.
Yep.
He kind of jumps around a lot.
Yeah.
And then there's one bloke.
Looked like Capoeira for a minute there.
It did. Capoeira sort of feeling. And then you got a couple of blokes who are into knee and faces pretty fucking hard.
Yeah. There's a lot of people gobbling some kneecaps at particular points.
Fucking blood going everywhere. Yeah. Oh, I love it. And then you throw in kind of like the counterpoint. I'm not quite sure how Ray Jackson got a gig to the Kumite.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is they put him in there as like the tank, kind of just pure strength. But when you've seen Bolo Yong, you're kind of sitting there looking at Jackson thinking, well, if this is a fight that can possibly end in death, you probably would have tried to get in shape. Yeah, and Jackson doesn't look in game shape.
I mean, no, he doesn't. I mean, I believe that guy's 6'4". Big unit.
He's a big unit, no doubt.
He played football.
But I don't think he's in career best nick.
Admittedly, I feel like his best performance was as Ogre in Revenge of the Nerds. And, I feel like he really sold it when he had fucking Icy Hot in his jockstrap.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I feel like he really sold that part of the film.
Yep.
Which, but look, what?
I don't dislike him in the movie.
I
think he's pretty good.
I like the little sort of
friendship's a little goofy, but
it's a little rough little bit of banter between them that I kind of liked.
Yeah, but it just kind of doesn't sort of that sort of tank character doesn't really work when you've already got Chong Li.
Yeah. He should have been different. He should have been picking people up and fucking,
even bigger than Chong Li.
Yeah.
And then, so when he goes against Chong Li and Chong Li does what he does to him, it's...
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Whereas, I still felt like Chong Li would have touched him up.
Yeah. Well, I say he is bigger, but you want I'm thinking you're looking for someone that's big. I like the fact that he was kind of like that unruly sort of...
Yeah, I did that. I like that too, but you
but he's got to be in bigger shape.
You needed like an Arnie. Almost.
Well, you needed someone with the ripped
physique,
or muscles, arm muscles. If he's going to wear the tank tops and shit, you want to see that. When he stands against Bolo Yong, you think, oh. Well,
and this is the thing, it's montage after montage.
Yeah.
But the shit is so entertaining that I'm just like, well, I don't care.
No, that's right.
I don't care that there's all montages.
Yep.
Whereas I had a problem with Rocky 4 because the montages didn't really. They were shit. Like, they were boring.
Too much Frank.
Well, too much fucking robots and shit, and driving out in his Lamborghini like an idiot, and thinking about how life's fucked, even though I'm a multi-millionaire.
Yep.
That sort of shit. So it never really becomes a chore to see any of the fights. which is a good thing. Like, that's a really good positive for it.
Correct.
Chong Li breaking that bloke's leg, so his bone sticks out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the bloke who fucking threatens Van Damme with 3 different
Yeah.
cuts across his throat,
across-
goes like this,
across
then Van Damme just
his
goes, boom, and his fucking kicks him in the head.
Yeah.
That was a perfect touch for me.
Excellent. He was
Don't oversell, mate.
No, just 2 of those. 2 out of 3.
Well, one.
One?
Go on this. Cut the throat. And if you get toed in the face, no one thinks you're... Yeah, like, people think, okay, you got that wrong. whereas, when you've done it 3 times, people are expecting you to really make it happen.
Yeah.
You
just one.
Take foot to
Just
face.
the cut across the throat, just, the simple kind
Yeah.
of... The textbook. you fuck that
And
up.
step back. Immediately step back.
Yeah.
Give yourself some room.
Correct.
The slow-mo screaming.
There was a fair bit.
Oh, I
But
love the one
mostly-
where he goes, yeah, and hits that guy in the fucking guts. And then drops into the splits and punches him in the nutsack.
It's mostly well deployed.
It is.
The slow-mo screaming.
Although
They give a bit of that to Bolo too. He gets a bit of...
yeah, but the funniest
Not
one
as
for me, is when Van Damme is blinded in the final fight, and he's just there going, screaming at the camera. Like, again, I was thinking, what's wrong? What's the problem
What's
here?
the matter here? I love the fact, going back to the punch in the Jazz Crackers, which is obviously iconic. I love the fact that they've already had Chong Li do a bunch of really dirty shit.
Yeah.
So you just kind of like, fair play.
Van Damme's getting in on the action as well, like punching people in the balls.
Yeah, all he did was punch someone in the nuts. He didn't fucking break anyone's neck or break their leg.
Did Bolo Young break anyone's neck?
Well, there was a couple of times when he does the whole motion of like grabbing under the chin and kind of then...
But I don't think he kills anyone, does he? Because the only one who closely almost gets killed is Jackson.
Well, I thought he killed one of them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, yeah.
doesn't really matter, does it? Like,
Well, in Frank's mind, that guy died.
well, in Frank's mind, I
As
killed
Frank
that
was
guy.
sitting on a chair going,
I don't know if he was dead because I knocked him out in fucking 30
oh,
seconds.
yeah, I knocked
before.
him out in 3 seconds, it says. His fastest knockout, 3 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck. So it's a one-punch knockout.
Yeah.
It must be.
Frank's the kind of guy...
Was
when
it
you
Jimmy
say,
Thunder
look,
style knockout?
Yeah, Jimmy, oh, fucking hell. Yeah, head's on the other side of your... Oh, sorry, your face is on the other side of the head. It was the old Jimmy Thunder knockout, but... the Frank's the kind of guy, though, that you say, oh, yeah, I went out for dinner last night. I had a pretty nice, I went and had some Thai. The green curry was reasonably hot, and Frank has to butt in and say, well, fuck, I ate the hottest green curry that's ever known to man. I went to Thailand. It was a secret restaurant, a back room that I got into because I was CIA at the time. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got into it. And the curry had the hottest fucking chili peppers that you can't get anywhere else in the world. And I ate it. I ate it. I finished the bowl quicker than anyone's ever finished.
Yeah, exactly. I had it quicker than anyone else.
By the time he's finished saying that, you've just kind of said, shut up, Frank.
No, but
and
you know
left
what? The other
conversation.
part of that is I went out to dinner with Frank Dukes, and all he did was fucking kept getting up out of his chair and go, yeah! And fucking throwing punches and shit and talking. He was in the fucking CIA.
Yeah.
He's had an interesting life in his
yeah.
own mind. But I do like the fact that Jackson gets his ass kicked by... I mean, I know we knew that was always coming,
Yeah.
but it's just a nice way to raise the stakes a little bit and say
But
that...
they also do it well in the sense that he gets a couple of hits into
Yeah.
on the Chong Li as well.
I've got something in the dislikes for him.
Well, he gets... Yeah,
You put the cunt on the ground, you fucking lay the stiff
stop
right.
fucking working the crowd.
Yeah.
As far as I know, there shouldn't be a crowd here. Finish the job.
Let me tell you something. If that bloke's on his knees with a set of pecs like that, my knee is fucking in his face like 50 times. Like, I'm just there going bam, bam, bam. Of
course.
Hoping to Christ he goes down.
Yep, I agree. It's the
I
old
mean, with everything I
the Pedro Pascal problem from fucking Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Finish the job,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah, yeah. Don't fuck around. Get rid of him.
Yeah.
When Jean-Claude's having a moment in a bus and sort of we've got a ballad playing and he's thinking about what's going on and how he's going to win this fight, and he looks across and Bolo Young's in the seat across the way going, sneering at him. And Van Damme's like, oh, shit. I love that. I was like, oh, mate, these guys are just firing on all cylinders.
Correct.
When Van Damme's fighting in his semi-final against the bloke who I think is like he's more of a kickboxer guy, he puts his hands up like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a sequence where they're kicking each other in the rib cage like a fucking pair of psychotics.
Reminded me of the old. Remember in the 80s when you used to have the rugby league game and they'd have the kicking duel? One bloke would kick it, then the other bloke would catch it and kick it straight back. It was like
they are towing each other in the fucking rib cage and they both go, ah!
It's like, you go, I go, you go, I go.
Like, this is craziness.
Yeah.
Like, stop.
Stop it.
Like, but in saying that, I loved it.
Of course. It's definitely in the likes. Could not possibly be anywhere else.
And the last like for me is the final fight is just gold.
Yeah.
Like, all of that works.
Yeah.
Like, it really works well. Because it's pretty even Stevens. And the fact that Chong Li has to, resort to shit tactics.
Yes.
It sort of showcases, again, that Van Damme's kind of got him on the ropes, and then, then it brings back
villain move.
Yeah, and then it brings back the old training he'd been doing. This is shit.
Of course, because getting blinded by a liniment or whatever is very similar to when your master's asking you to serve tea with a blind.
Whereas if it's me, I'm whinging to the ref. I fucking prick through something in my eyes.
Yeah, what are you here for?
Yeah, are you here for a reason? Get your fucking head out of your ass.
Yeah. I thought this was no holds barred shit though. So why have we got a referee running around? Anyway, that's a question for another.
Different question for the next part. I think it is.
Yes.
But yeah, I feel like the film ends on high, and I think that's the best choreographed fight. It's the best part of the film.
Yep,
really works. And again, I come back to Van Damme's physicality as a martial artist.
Well, both of them.
Yeah, both of them. I mean, but Buller Young, I think he had a very heavy background back then, and Van Damme was pretty new to the scene.
Yeah.
But he just, on screen, the bloke is so good to watch in these fight films.
Yep.
Like, he's really good at it.
And probably not ever really better than this.
No.
This was...
Because he started to cut away a little bit to things like, your time cops, your hard targets and all that sort of stuff.
I'm not saying he wasn't good on other bits, but this is his peak, surely.
Yeah. This is his bread and butter.
Yep.
All right.
Dislikes?
Well,
again, my dislikes are fucking
hard to say they're
loaded.
Dislikes, but they're just fucking...
But I love some of them.
Yeah.
The story, logically, it's just bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, you watch it and you say, this could not have happened. And we'll get into Frankie Dukes and the believability maybe, after the dislikes.
I feel like Enter the Dragon is more this, like, if you're having a tournament off the eyes of everyone else, Enter the Dragon's more what you're doing to an island compound,
Yeah,
like that's more the style. This is in the fucking back blocks of Hong Kong. I mean, are you fucking serious? Like, is Frank trying to... If you're trying to foist this upon us, don't be so fucking silly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the logics of it just fall apart very quickly.
Correct.
So that's let's get that out of the way, because we are going to come back to that a little bit.
Yeah.
I can't stop laughing at it, and it was reinforced by the fucking honest trailer of Bloodsport again, but I love that. I mean, we're introducing Jackson at his gym, and some bloke goes, "Hey, you going to Hong Kong?" And then starts talking about, I heard the Kumites going or some shit. I'm like, well, how'd you hear about it? Because it's supposed to be fucking super secret. I got an invite. You shouldn't know about it.
According to fucking Frank Dukes, nobody can verify his involvement in it.
Yeah.
But yet,
exactly.
if this is anything to go by, every person who's involved has told 10 other people.
Exactly.
It is. There's a cast of thousands in that place.
It's pretty clear it's not super secret. It's fucking everyone knows
They've
about
got referees. They've got fucking flag parties. There is an opening ceremony to this fucking gig.
Yeah, with performances, with fucking fire.
Exactly.
Fire sticks.
So what part of this, like, to me, super secret means it's, deep in a dark, dank fucking area where they're just punching the shit out of each other.
Yeah, and I think that is one of the things that I bring up. I think if they remade this, which I would be open to, if I can stick someone like a Scotty Adkins in the lead role or something.
Throw Van Damme in as...
like they did with Kickboxer as the Tanaka role. But I would say you take out some of the sillier aspects about how many people fucking know about it. But also, you go with the kind of Mortal Kombat style. The fights take place in different places because you're trying to fucking keep on the move. You're trying to keep it clandestine. So you have a couple of the fights leading up in different places, and then you finish in this arena type setup.
I like that.
I reckon that's kind of the play to go for. But in saying that, it's still pretty cool to see all the fights in the venue that it's
it is. Yeah, I get that.
It just stretches the believability fucking even more than Frankie Dukes can stretch it, I think.
But everyone knows about it. She's a reporter and she says, "So, tell us about the commentator." To these two fucking Asian guys at a bar. I mean, maybe it's just me.
I was just here having a fucking drink.
Yeah.
But all of them are at the hotel too. Is that a sponsorship deal? Anyway, we'll get back to that.
Yeah, the Golden
Dragon. But I love that they, as we said, again, coming back
We've all got rooms of the Golden Dragon.
Coming back to the Super Secret Tournament, it's great that they employ a bloke to sweep the ring in a fucking underground death match. Do you work for cash? Because if you're in a union, I think
you're working for gold teeth. It would be fucking hell. You're working for whatever you can pull out of some bloke's mouth. The shit beat out of him. I don't get all that. Like, I don't get it.
No.
Like, at one point, the reporter says to Van Damme, "What is this air of mystery?" And I was like, what mystery? Every cunt in town knows about this.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no mystery. There was a bloke on the corner scalping tickets.
You are the most ignorant reporter I've ever fucking met.
Can we just acknowledge too that she's in back-to-back episodes?
Yeah, I know. She's in the Burning as well.
So there you go. But yeah. There's a bloke scalping tickets. I mean, honestly, if it was modern day, you're going to be able to bet on this on fucking sports bet. Like, everyone knows about it.
I know. Fucking hell. Gamble responsibly. Fucking told every time.
Gamble responsibly and, don't enter death matches.
Yeah, you can avoid it. The acting's shocking.
Yeah. Especially
the young Van Damme is fucking awful. like I've seen some shit performers, but man.
Oh, God. Every time... Me and a mate.
I mean, they bring up the fucking commentator then too.
Yeah.
A kid goes, I'm going to get into the commentator.
My father proud and I'll fight in the commentator. I'm thinking, well, your dad would probably be happy if you didn't. If you might die, there's a chance you might die. As you said, I may be misled in the fact that people are dying.
Secondly, it's not real.
Exactly. Does your dad know it doesn't exist? but me and a mate had a fucking running gag for years. It was like anytime we said, anytime you mentioned anything that was some kind of fucking bargain or whatever, we'd whip out what kind of a deal? What kind of a deal?
Jesus Christ almighty.
But he is, notoriously bad performance. It's a shocker. And he's fucking dubbed for some reason.
I know. He was so bad they dubbed him by another bad actor.
What is going on with the dubbing there?
Christ almighty.
Absolutely.
Now, Van Damme is American. That doesn't work. When you've got a thick accent. I mean, I know why you've been hired, because supposedly you're like Frank Dukes.
Yeah.
Or you are Frank Dukes.
Yes.
But he's not an American.
No.
They should have just gone away from that and said, from his current nationality,
Yeah. American by way of...
Yes, it should have been.
Parts unknown.
So his mates was bloody the Ultimate Warrior, is he? Was he from Parts Unknown?
Yeah, that's Parts Unknown.
I thought it was the Cocaine Highway.
I think Frank Dukes and the Ultimate Warrior had a similar grasp of reality.
Yeah, I think they did. He's the fucking Ultimate Warrior had zero grasp of reality though, didn't he? He was a fucking stupid prick.
That would have been the Kumite match for the ages. Frankie Dukes versus Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior running down from the fucking top part of the thing, shaking shit and carrying on like a fucking lunatic. Holy shit.
Oh,
shit.
Anyway, I forgot to.
Anyway,
I had this. I think I put this in the wrong section, but the line about the. Going back to just quickly giving Bolo Yong some credit, the whole fucking thing about very good, but Brick not hit back. Yeah. Classic action movie line alert. Yes, we need a fucking buzzer kind of sound. Like a classic action line. There is one.
And also, there is no way you're doing that.
No.
There's no fucking way you're putting exactly the amount of pressure on the top bricks to smash the one on the bottom. I mean, you're smashing all of them.
I also thought the dim muck was like it was a touch. It's like the death touch where you're not using
heaps of force,
but say you hitting the pressure points and shit like that. Bricks don't have pressure points.
Yeah, well, last time I checked.
Well, they do, but they have nerves and shit.
Ask Frank Dukes, mate. They're probably fucking living.
Fucking Frank Dukes. The world record's flashing up on signs during fights. I mean, it's enough that Frankie's bullshitting about us anyway, but I have
I said it was a minute 22.
I have
tear that bloke up. It was about fucking 5 seconds.
Yeah, I have no explanation for that other than cannon film. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, Frank. Let's fucking go with that.
Oh, yeah, that was fucking ridiculous, that stuff.
Ridiculous.
Now, let me throw you the biggest thing. The two agents who are chasing him serves absolutely no purpose. I mean, fucking Forrest Whitaker. And those ridiculous tasers.
Tasers. But as I've circled here, there's the really baffling music choice during the chase.
Yeah.
And I've written where they're running from Forrest Whitaker and his mate, who might be Frank Drebin.
I think he was.
The way he's operating.
He was as close to Frank Drebin as you could get.
Yeah, it was Frank Drebin without the fucking...
He was going to come home in a suit and then say, I'm going to slip into something more comfortable and come out in a fucking dinner suit.
Yep.
I cannot believe I find that shit amusing.
Yeah, they could have just dropped that.
Yeah, it was
dropped
nothing.
It all together.
It was zero.
We knew he was on the run. Just have him show up. But then at the last fight, they're
why
fucking
does he
front
ever
row.
have to be on the fucking
They
run?
scalp tickets.
Yeah, they picked up a couple of tickets from old mate out of the street. Shit. Well, I mean, he was lucky to have tickets because there were so many people interested.
Exactly.
No, but this is the thing. Why did he have to be on the run? What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, I didn't
Nothing.
think he needed to be.
He just needed to turn up to Hong Kong and meet Randy Jackson, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
And that's that's where we start. They're both going to the Kumite.
Yep.
Well, I don't give a shit that he was on the run.
No, I don't care.
And talk about some shit acting. The guy who plays the army or his boss.
Yeah.
The guy comes back and says, he was in the shower and he's run off and he's like, what the fuck? And it's clearly been dubbed over. And he's going, you get him back here. I will. Oh my God.
Yeah. Cool it off.
Please.
I love the line where Dukes is talking to the reporter and he goes, strict rules, no press. I'm sitting there going, every other prick's in town, so any reporter worth their salt has got a ticket.
Oh, no. You know what? It seems like just coming off the street. like if I'm a reporter, I'm not even telling them I'm in the press.
No,
I'm
that's
like,
right.
I just want to
surprise. She gets there, no dramas.
I know. On the arm of some sleazy Tab Sports Bet guy.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a Vegas fucking fight night. Everyone's in there. So I don't think the press is having trouble. I don't think the real rules are too strict. So why do we even bother talking about that?
Correct.
Silly.
No need to worry about that. I mean, I put most of my stuff in the likes.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got very little here. And as I said, what the fuck is Jackson doing over celebrating? Like, you put Chong Li on the deck.
Yeah.
You then you lay into him.
Yeah, it's just one of those really frustrating movie sort of TV.
And it's because they had him at the start sort of going, I want you and all this sort of shit.
Yeah, but I hate it when it's like so obvious that it's gonna, that, you know, you turn around, you flex, and you're, with the crowd, and it's like...
And we know this guy's going to get his fucking head
It's just,
kicked in.
yeah, it's frustrating to watch.
Also, I love the fact that Van Damme runs out onto the disgusting floor that he's laying face down on and starts grabbing him by the neck. I'm like, this guy could have a fucking spinal injury.
First aid course, haven't you?
You have just paralysed that man. No,
Exactly.
You fucking paralysed him.
Correct.
He's got a spinal injury there, mate.
Yeah.
All right, what else you got?
Well, I think that mostly the dislikes are done.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot to mention too, there was the fight, which I didn't realise until, again, this time. But am I mistaken, or is it Chong Li? We get a bit of Chong Li versus Tong Po.
Oh, do we?
I think Michael Kesey is one of the
Oh,
one of the
right,
guys.
that's not a bad little...
Two great proponents of the squash matches in Netflix.
And of course,
So that was
Tong
cool.
Po gets his fucking ring off.
Yes, of course. So we've got the extra section.
The extra section is the kumite, is it? Or the Frank Juice?
We've got some questions about the kumite. Well,
Okay.
Frankie
Are
Juice
you
is-
asking me these questions? Am I
Well,
supposed
we've
to
both
answer
got some
anything?
questions to raise here, I think.
Okay.
So first off, who's keeping the records? Who are the record keepers at the kumite? Because I thought if you're holding a super secret tournament, the last thing you'd want is to be fucking keeping records.
No, stats are not
That's how
important.
Parramatta got fucked over on the salary cap scandal. If you're cheating, you don't keep notes.
You keep 2 sets of books.
You don't
Jack.
talk about it in minutes.
You know what though? You're not taking stats.
No.
What the fuck do we need
And
stats?
The stat that gets me at the end is the fastest kick.
Yeah.
Who's fucking? How do you know? What do you
72
miss?
miles
Yeah,
an
the
hour or
fucking
something.
speed gun at the tournament. That's bullshit.
In
Frank.
1975, between 1975 and 1980.
Yeah.
You're telling them they were using radar technology.
Radar guns
They're
at
lucky to
Kumite.
fucking use them.
You're telling us they're fucking getting in there, setting up, we're fighting, and then we're fucking off so no one knows we're here. But we're setting up
But
speed
we've got
guns.
time to stop and say, hang on, let's have a quick look at how quick that was
Come on,
going.
Frank.
Frank, you're talking out of your
So
ass.
that's the question.
You're still talking out of your ass.
Whose job is it to keep it hush-hush? Because you're fired.
I mean, in the social media age, that motherfucker would have it out on Instagram.
Exactly. I mean, Jackson meets Van Damme on an arcade machine, and goes, "Hey, you want to see me fight for real? Come on down to the Kumite." Like, what? Among other examples.
I mean, I was at least expecting him to go, oh, shit, I shouldn't have said
sorry,
that.
I didn't mean to say that.
Yeah. Please forget that last conversation.
Also, whose job is it to scout? Who's scouting for fighters? Do we
Yeah,
have an
who
international-
decided? Who got
Who
picked?
gets the invites?
Can I ask, how did Frank Dukes get picked?
He didn't.
Oh, that's fine. He wrote this in his own mind, so fuck it. I
By a similar token,
yeah, okay.
we're a super secret fighting
Yeah.
organisation. We've got these processes that are supposed to keep this secret. We've, as I said, I have questions about who's scouting, but we've scouted fighters. So why do we have a registration desk?
Yes. Why the fuck do you turn up? You walk in and go, I'm here to engage in, you know.
They make you fucking prove this.
Yeah, you lean into the desk and you go, don't tell anyone, but
I couldn't stop laughing.
I'm here for the super
We
secret
got a rego
tournament.
desk.
Where is it?
Did you register before the cut-off last week?
It's not tough, mother.
Because,
Yeah.
you know, we can't do registrations on the day. The administration's just fucking...
No, mate, you're too late. You should have fucking checked in 2 days ago. Fucking come on.
Come on.
Oh,
Give us a spell, Frank.
make it somewhat realistic, mate. Like
No rego
At least, look, when you wrote all this fucking fever dream coke bullshit down, you should have gone back over it and cut
Yeah.
out some of the more
Yeah,
ludicrous.
I think it's
elements.
probably silly if I have to register before I fight.
No, but I wrote it in the quickest time. So
Can you sign the insurance form as well before we get underway? There's a waiver.
fuck, if there is a waiver, I am just going off.
My next question is, what do you gain from sponsoring a tournament? Because I believe we mentioned that there's an international federation of fighters or whatever that sponsored the tournament. They're our co-sponsors for this event. What do you gain from sponsoring a tournament that, in theory, nobody should be finding out about?
And people are potentially dying. I don't think it's a good thing for Denko runs.
Exactly.
You know, put a bit of fucking
like
deep
you're
heat on that guy's neck.
You feel like you've just had your neck broken, put a bit of deep heat on it. Put a bit of Denko.
Chuck a bit of Denko rub on there. I bet you'll come back to life.
Yeah, I feel, my understanding of sponsorships is it's kind of mutually beneficial to get everyone's name out there.
Correct.
But if you're supposedly at a tournament,
Again, this is stepping into. It's clearly bullshit.
it's clearly bullshit. Exactly. If any of this is based in what his recollections are,
Yeah, I'd actually like to ask Frank, what were you on?
Yep.
When this was happening?
Exactly. So now getting into Dukes.
Himself.
Just before I go into some of this, where's your level of believability?
Oh, zero.
Zero?
Yeah, the guy, this is all bullshit. Like, he may have had some martial arts training. They're the things I don't know much about.
Yep.
But it's pretty clear.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear.
That
everything
that seems to be out there about it debunks everything.
I'm about a 2 or a 3. And I say that because I think, yes, he has practiced martial arts in some capacity.
I'll give him that.
2, he did serve, but I think all of the levels and the level that he served to, supposedly in his mind, as you said, has been fucking debunked.
Yeah.
But also, I've no doubt these fucking tournaments, I mean, fucking underground fights, of course they take place.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think they keep records.
But nobody knows who the fucking champ is and all this shit.
But exactly. And we throw this at it says, I mean, is my recollection off, or does he say it takes place every 5 years? He's saying it's every 5 years, but then we finish up at the end with...
Between 75 and 1980.
Between 75 and 80, he had an undefeated record of 329 fights. I'm like, mate, you said there was fucking one tournament every 5 years.
Yeah, but also, Frank, are you trying to tell me that in those 5 years you fought fucking 370 people and beat them all?
And...
I mean, at least give me a number I can believe.
He also says 59 knockouts in a row, and it's like... Anyone with a grasp of maths is like... But you just told us it's every 5 years. You couldn't possibly have knocked out 59 people in one tournament.
Like, you can. I mean, who are you fighting?
It's bullshit.
Is this
Frank has been... He studied bullshedo from day one.
That is the only
He's
thing
been
he's a
practicing
fucking
bullshedo from day one.
Bullshedo.
But yeah, I mean, the things that...
It's like Will Chamberlain. And he's thinking about 20,000 women.
Yeah.
And when they actually break it down, it means he's had to have had 4 or 5 women a day since he was 15.
But the other thing, like... So, obviously, I said the numbers don't work from what they give us, and they come from Frank. But Frank's also revised things. Whenever anyone brings up something, you said this, and then you said this. It's like, but, his story constantly changes.
Yeah.
But also, as I said, I've got no qualms that, there probably has been fucking fighting tournaments, unsanctioned, underground, for whatever reason, criminal organisations, whatever.
Yeah.
But every story he has told has been to boost his own fucking reputation.
Yes.
And nothing more. It's always been about how good
It's not
Frank
taking
was.
anything out of it or revising, maybe that wasn't as good as I made it out to be.
Yeah.
It's always about making him better. And Frank is clearly, by the sound of things, someone who, I have to be the greatest. And I cannot...
Every story he's told is about how he's... I was supposed to be in there infiltrating to get some contacts, but I turned out to be one of the greatest fighters they'd ever seen.
Yeah, that's right. So, it's never like... So, 1 minute you're the greatest fighter that's ever been seen. You're also in the CIA?
Yeah, it's too much. Everything he says is always this angle of how, I just got in this fucking situation and I just happen to be the best person that's ever done it.
Yeah, and that's just such crap.
It's such crap. And as we've kind of spoken about, he's talking about the speed of his kicks and all this sort of shit. Mate, they didn't track that.
The only fucking speed of the shit coming out of your mouth, mate.
Yeah, if you were in a fucking street fight or an illegal fight, all they cared about was who's fucking running the dollars here. And then as soon as the fight was over, we fucking cashed out and we went home. They didn't say, just grab the record books and put that one down because that was the quickest knockout we've ever had.
That fucking foot speed was like 72 miles an hour.
Because you look at, the original UFC, even UFC now is that sort of stuff. It's like, let's get these fighters together and... see who's the best. So I've got no issues that sort of stuff happened, but Frank's failed to prove that he was the best at any kind of regulated competition.
So if you were the best at an underground fighting tournament, surely you would have some skills in proper regulated fighting.
Yeah. Yep.
But Frank has absolutely nothing to back any of this up.
No, none.
So to me, I can't believe any of it.
Bullshit.
And I
Black belt in bullshedo.
Yeah. And Frank has been trotting this shit out forever.
Yep.
Instead of just fucking shutting the fuck up and staying away from it.
Instead of saying, look, I lied. I told him
or preserve the mystery and don't talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Now,
I think
don't know
Sheldon Lettich has mentioned in a couple of interviews, Frank likes to tell a few tall tales that fucking came unstuck very quickly, but it sounded like a good idea for a movie. So.
But you know what, though? In my experience, Jared, maybe this is my experience is different to everyone else's, but people who talk a lot of shit usually haven't done what they're talking about.
No, that's right.
Because that's
you
why
don't
they're
need to be telling.
Because what they're doing is they're trying to make you believe something. So you'll fucking go, oh, tell me more, or become like, infatuated with their crap, or they're trying to basically create this thing about them.
Yeah.
That makes them interesting.
Yep.
And it's the guys that don't talk about that stuff are usually the ones you then find out, oh, holy shit. So, this person used to do this, and,
Yep.
So that's just my personal experience, and it just sounds like Frank's doing this to...
Frank's looking out for Frank.
Frank's looking out for Frank, but Frank also doesn't understand that you can't be the greatest at everything, mate.
No, that's right. Yeah.
That's where stories come unstuck.
Yes.
That's where Costanza's Web of Lies falls apart. Usually.
Yeah. Someone finds the Penske file, opens it and realises it's an empty folder. Like, that's...
Yeah, exactly. Or he said he's put it in one of those concertina folders, but that's it. He hasn't actually done any work on it.
Oh,
so,
man.
yeah, Frank's a dribbler. Like, it doesn't stop this from being a great movie, though.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Is that everything from you?
Yeah, that's everything.
All right, that was Bloodsport. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and Podomatic. Send us an email at thrillme@iinet.net.au. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, on Instagram at Thrill Me Podcast AU, and at Podomatic at thrillme.podomatic.com. Try and rate and review us, please, if you can. Keep an eye on the Facebook page for details of the next film that we cover. But until then, take it easy, everyone, and we'll catch you all later. Cheers. Find the podcast at Podomatic or on iTunes. Don't forget to rate and review. Like us on Facebook at Thrill Me Podcast Australia, or contact us at thrillme, all one word, all lowercase, at iinet.net.au.